Today on our 2018 Chevrolet Colorado, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the CURT Class 3 Custom Fit Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C13176. So here's what our hitch is going to look like once we have it installed. The cross tube is going to sit nicely behind the bumper, and the receiver tube is going to be almost flush with the back of our bumper. It is a Class 3 hitch, which means it's going to give us that 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube opening up a lot of options for any kind of accessory that we may want to use. The way we're going to mount all of our accessories is through the hitch pin hole on the side here, and it is going to accept a standard 5/8 pin and clip. Now these aren't included in the kit, but you can pick them up on our website. The safety chain connection points are going to be a plate style, welded to the bottom of the receiver tube as well as the cross tube, and as you can see, even with really large hooks, we're still going to have plenty of room to get them on and not have to worry about any kind of interference. As far as weight capacity goes, our hitch is going to have an 800-pound tongue weight, which is going to be the maximum downward force at the receiver tube. It's also going to have an 8,000-pound gross trailer weight rating, which is the amount it can pull, including the trailer and everything you have loaded on it. Now it is designed to work with weight distribution systems as well, and weight distribution is going to be a separate component that's going to be mounted on your trailer. That's going to bump the tongue weight up to 1,000 pounds and the gross trailer weight rating up to 10,000 pounds. Now keep in mind, hitches are commonly rated a lot higher than the vehicle they go on. So it's always a good idea to double check your owner's manual and make sure you don't exceed the manufacturer's recommended weight. Now I'd like to give you a few measurements that will help you in deciding for accessories for your new hitch, such as a ball mount, bike rack, or even a cargo carrier. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost edge of the bumper, it's going to be right about 2.5 inches. Keep that measurement in mind when you're looking at folding accessories to make sure you have the clearance and you're not going to come in contact with the bumper. And from the ground to the inside top edge of the receiver tube opening is going to be right about 18 3/4 inches. That measurement is going to come in handy when you're looking for a ball mount to find the appropriate riser drop for your trailer. Now that we've seen what our hitch looks like and gone over some of the features, let's show you how to get it installed. I went ahead and removed my spare tire. Now we're going to have 4 bolts that are holding in this support that's going to be directly above it. I'm using a 13mm socket to pull those out. Now on the driver's side, right below the frame rail on our support beam, we're going to have some wiring that's going to be attached, and we're going to make sure we remove that so we don't cause any damage later on. So again, just a trim panel tool or a flathead screwdriver, and we can pop the wiring out of the way. We are going to have to remove this factory support here, but the bolts holding it in place also hold our bumper in place. So I'm going to take a couple straps, and I'm going to find a spot to hook it on the bumper, and then I'm going to run it back towards the front and find another spot to hook it onto. That way there's just a little bit of tension on it so we can make sure that it's not going to go anywhere. And we'll do that on both sides so we have even tension pulling forward on our bumper. Not only are we going to provide that forward pressure on our bumper, but we're also going to have support from underneath. So we're going to be using some pole jacks since it is on a lift. But if you're at home, you can go ahead and use some jack stands. You just want to make sure that that bumper is supported so it won't fall down. And again, we're going to put one on each side. Now on the bottom side of our frame, holding that support bracket in, we're going to have 2 bolts on the bottom that are holding it in place. We're using a 21mm socket to pull them out. Now with one of the bolts towards the front of our truck, I'm just going to have a couple threads in because again, we don't want that falling down when we take them all the way out. Now on the side of the frame, we're going to have 2 more bolts holding it in place. Now because of the limited access, you may have to use a hand ratchet and a short socket, but it's still going to be that 21mm. So with those 2 bolts out on the side, we're going to want to make sure that bolt on the bottom is still in a couple threads so that beam won't come falling down. And we can go to the other side and remove the other two. So with our bolts out on the side, we can very carefully remove the last bolt on each side from the bottom and slowly pull the bumper beam out. Now with an extra set of hands, we're going to lift our hitch into position. Now it's going to be a pretty tight fit, but you want the flange on the hitch to go in between the frame and the bumper bracket on the outside. Then we're going to take the factory bolts that we pulled out earlier and secure the hitch. We're going to get one on each side so we don't have to worry about the hitch falling down. With the bolts in the bottom of our hitch, we're going to come back with our 21mm socket and we're just going to snug them up so that it'll raise the hitch up to the bottom of the frame. We'll do that on both sides, making it a little bit easier to line up the bolt holes in our bumper. So we can take our factory bolts that hold our bumper in and loosely put them in place as well. With our bumper bolts in place, we can snug those up as well. So we can come back with our 21mm socket and we're going to torque all of our hardware down to the specified amount in the instructions. With our hitch torqued down, we can go ahead and remove the straps and the pole jacks that were supporting our bumper. Our spare tire support is not going to be getting reinstalled, so all we have left to do now is put our spare tire back. And that'll finish up your look at the CURT Class 3 Custom Fit Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C13176 on our 2018 Chevrolet.
Thanks for watching. Click the link in our description below to shop, learn more, or visit us at etrailer.com. And leave us a comment if you have any questions.